Welcome to SAT TV News. Thanks for joining us. I am Alicia George. In our top stories, NDFD urges delinquent lenders to pay up. Passport charges reinstated against former Attorney General Bernard Wilshire. In the region, Jamaica health officials monitoring West Africa Ebola virus outbreak. And internationally, landslides trapped 170 people or more in western India. In sports, DFA to host 2013-2014 Sports Awards. Details of these will follow. Welcome back. The message advising delinquent lenders to pay up was clear on Wednesday when the National Development Foundation of Dominica, NDFD, hosted its 32nd annual general meeting under the theme Growth and Poverty Reduction through a Sustainable MSME Sector. Chairman of the NDFD, Oliver Henderson, in his report, said this is one of the main issues faced at the financial institution.
Although the NDFD was able to meet the challenges with which it encountered and whilst endeavored to deliver the highest quality of service to its clients, the biggest challenge continues to be that of delinquency. For this reporting year of 2013, $369,627 had to be set aside from profits to provide for non-performing loans. I therefore personally urge, in fact, I beg you, our delinquent clients, to please make every effort in meeting your obligation to the Foundation, for it is in so doing that other aspiring entrepreneurs can get funding for their enterprises.
Executive Director of the NDFD, Cletus Joseph, also reiterated the call for delinquent lenders to pay their dues, as this is vital for the running of the institution. In speaking to the NDFD's financial position, Joseph said the NDFD was able to improve the general fund from negative $431,555 in 2012 to a negative $139,845 at the end of the year 2013.
This shows that there was significant improvement in the financial position of the NDFD. However, I want to echo the chairman again. I wanted to hit all of the walls. To the delinquent clients who have refused the NDFD's efforts and approaches at finding a negotiable payment plan for them, the doors of the NDFD are still open for negotiations so that we could come up with an amicable solution to the situation.
He added, when there is delinquency, the NDFD has to seek funding outside of the foundation. On a more positive note, the NDFD realized an operational surplus of $683,971 for the reporting period 2013, which is an increase of $154,000 or 29% over 2012. The main revenue item was interest on loans, which yielded $1,514,786 and other income of $348,073 as a result of loan processing fees, rent, revenue, training fees, business support, and bad debt recovered.
The cash position of the foundation was improved as well, as we have seen our savings account, which showed a year-end balance of $305,000, a current account balance of in excess of $900,000, and leaving the total cash and short-term funds of over $1.2 million. This position, please do not say that we have plenty of money, but it just allows us the opportunity to easily meet the cash demands of our clients as we strive to assist them to develop their businesses into sustainable enterprises and contribute to the poverty reduction in the process.
The foundation's financial position improved, resulting in total assets of $12.9 million at the end of 2012. He added that the NDFD's cash flow statement reflects a net cash flow of $1,024,713. However, despite this favorable position, there remains the need to be prudent in the execution of the activities of the foundation while being innovative and creative in delivering services and products to the clients. Just under 2 weeks following the dismissal of passport fraud charges against former Dominica Attorney General Bernard Wilshire, he has been summoned to court again for the same charges. Wilshire said he was served by a police officer on Wednesday to appear in court on August 22nd for the same charges of which he was previously charged of defrauding the state of passports with unknown persons. He was originally charged along with Nash Michel, Kimana James, and Lyndon Marie. However, Wiltshire is of the view he is being victimized by the government for his political preference.
This appears to me and to many reasonable people to be an abuse of the process of the court and further evidence of the determination. For some, heaven knows what I've done to certain people, but the determination of some of the authorities to victimize, to harass, and to make my life, literally, to make it hell. I think that is all that they are trying to do.
Wiltshire noted the matter, which was dragged on for over 3 years, has damaged his reputation and his profession as a practicing attorney, one that has always stood against the selling of passports and the economic citizenship program. He said there was a passport scam in Dominica which was revealed in 2011 involving the Registry Department, the Passport Office, the Dominican High Commission in England, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, of which he is an innocent victim in that process.
Some people made a whole pile of money from illegally selling passports in Dominica, Dominican passports to foreigners. After all, there are people seeing that their agents, government officials and agents who are making piles of money by selling the country. And obviously this has an encouragement to certain people to think, well, if some people can do it, why can't they get on the gravy train as well and sell? And what they're doing is selling the country for their own personal benefit and aggrandizement. That I am against. That I've always been against, because I think it is against the long-term interests of the country, and it is against the security of the people of Dominica.
He said instead of being used as a scapegoat, the police should conduct a full investigation of the Passport Office, the Registry, the Dominica High Commission in London, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Office to find the persons who have information about the passport scam. Wiltshire explained that based on information he received, the passport scam ran over a 9-year period from 2002 to 2011. He noted that out of 100 passport applications being investigated, the police only found one passport form he signed. He pointed out a lawyer who signed many of the application forms who was not investigated nor charged or brought to court, which leads him to believe he is being victimized. SAT-TV's request to the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP Evelina Baptist, on Thursday, July 31st was denied. However, a source revealed that Baptist is expected to review the file and make a final determination on the matter. It is unclear whether the individuals Wiltshire was originally charged with will be summoned to court for the same matter. Lennox Linton, party leader for the opposition United Workers' Party, UWP, has described the suspension of Senator Danny Luge from Parliament as illegal. He made the statement during a UWP press conference on Wednesday. Senator Luge was arrested and charged for incitement to murder attorney Alec Lawrence on July 17th, following statements made at the UWP public meeting in Soufriere. According to Linton, the dismissal of the senator was another act of political persecution by the ruling Dominica Labour Party DLP government.
In the middle of the exercise, the government went the route of a grave injustice, a travesty, blatant political victimization, another savage dictatorial attack on freedom, democracy, equal rights, and justice in Dominica, which we felt compelled to protest.
Subsequent to the suspension of Senator Luge, opposition members walked out of Parliament in protest. Linton argued that the suspension had nothing to do with whether or not the senator was suitable to be in Parliament, pointing out that after the incident, he was allowed to sit in on the national budget presentation.
It is only when Mr. Luge had to participate in the debate of the budget that the government moved to put him out of the Parliament. So this has nothing to do with whether he's suitable to be in Parliament, because after the incident, which is 3rd of July, and after he was arrested and charged, the government had no problem with him sitting in the same Parliament, listening to the budget presentation.
Linton further highlighted that individuals associated with the DLP have made similar and perhaps even worse statements inciting violence on a large number of Dominicans, but they have not been persecuted. The Prime Minister himself, he said, has sat in Parliament, even after being taken to court for allegedly being the holder of 2 passports.
You'll recall Mr. Skerritt spent more than 3 years before the court on a challenge to the validity of his membership in Parliament. He knew he contested the 2009 election illegally as the holder of a French passport under allegiance to France and was therefore not qualified to be a member of the parliament. He never stepped aside while the courts deliberated on the matter, and he was not suspended from parliament either.
Linton quoted one of America's founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson, and said, "When justice becomes law, resistance becomes duty." He remarked that it is now the duty of the UWP to oppose and protest injustice in the public interest.
The imperialist forces are seeking to undermine all the efforts and gains we have made through the Venezuelan revolution. So we each must recommit ourselves.
Así que debemos comprometernos.
And commit ourselves.
Comprometernos con nosotros mismos.
To defend the Venezuelan revolution.
The Prime Minister warned that failure to defend the revolution is failure to defend the late Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez. Prime Minister of Dominica, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, has urged the people of Venezuela to recommit themselves to defending the Venezuelan revolution as it has brought its true independence. He made the remark during the Congress of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela in Caracas on Monday. The Prime Minister advised the Venezuelan people that they should stop the imperialists from undermining their efforts and gains.
The imperialists believe that we do not have what it takes to manage and to decide how we want to run our country.
Porque los imperialistas creen que nosotros no tenemos lo que se necesita para gobernar nuestros países.
Because if we fail to defend our revolution, we would have failed our eternal leader, President Hugo Chavez.
Prime Minister Skerrit also called on Caribbean leaders to stand in solidarity with President Nicolas Maduro's administration.
I say to you, comrades,
y les digo, camaradas,
that we must never second-guess the leadership of Venezuela. President Maduro needs the support of every single Venezuelan, every single revolutionary in the Caribbean and Latin America and Venezuela. Every leader of the Caribbean and Latin America must stand in defense of this hemisphere.
The Prime Minister went on to reassure the Venezuelan people and government of Dominica's total and absolute solidarity with the revolution of Venezuela and its government. The police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the shooting of Ricky John Hope of Calibishi. According to Police Public Relations Officer John Carbon, John Hope was found lying on the roadside at Hampstead at about 9 p.m. on Monday, July 28th. He sustained injuries to his back, the back of his head, arm, and thigh. He was transported to the Margaret Hospital, where he was treated. He was then transferred to the Princess Margaret Hospital, where he was admitted. He has since been discharged. However, investigations are continuing. When we return, more stories. Welcome back. National Disaster Coordinator Don Corriette is urging Dominicans to be prepared as a weather system is approaching the Windward Islands. Satellite images indicate that showers and thunderstorms associated with a well-defined area of low pressure located about 600 miles east of the Windward Islands and have been producing organized shower and thunderstorm activity over the past several hours. According to the Met Office, the environmental conditions are marginally conducive for the development of this system into a tropical depression.
Although the storm is 3 days away, we at the Office of Disaster Management, and by extension the Ministry of National Security, wish to advise residents and Dominicans on the whole that we need to pay special attention to that system as it moves westward towards the island chain, and to take all proactive measures in preparation for the likely impact of that storm or that system on Friday evening into Saturday.
Corriette noted Dominicans need to ensure around homes are free of any debris while drains and waterways are cleared, in addition to the cutting of overhanging trees and or branches. He said the Office of Disaster Management is advising the public to continue monitoring the weather system and stay tuned to all local weather reports for up-to-date advisories as the system approaches Dominica.
But as I say, we want to reiterate the fact that we have to be prepared. We are in the hurricane season, and as we progress into the more active months of the season, that is August to September into October, there's a possibility, a very great possibility and probability that the tropical waves and tropical systems coming through the Atlantic will strengthen, will become more organized, as history has shown, August and September being the more active periods. Recent events in Dominica, April of last year and December of last year, 2013, exposes our vulnerability to a great extent, and we should learn from those events and to make sure that we are prepared for any eventuality in this hurricane season and beyond.
The disaster coordinator pointed out that weather systems are normally associated with unusual rainfall and gusty winds, so persons living in low-lying areas should make sure they are not caught off guard, like the trough system of December 24, 2013, which exposed the country's vulnerability.
We are also asking farmers and other livestock owners if it should be that we are under tropical storm watch or warning, that they take the necessary action to safeguard their livestock. Also, that goes to fisher folk. So the important thing is for the public to continue to listen to the advisories from the Met Office, and once we get the advisories and the system becomes more, we hope not, if the system becomes more organized, then we will put out further announcements from the Office of Disaster Management. But for now, the system seems to be 2 or 3 days away. That gives us some time to ask the public to please monitor. We spend time on the internet, we spend time on the television. Part of that time, make it your business to look up what the weather Met Office is saying, look up what the National Hurricane Center is saying, and also what the Disaster Office is saying, and take the necessary action. Do not wait till the 11th hour. And we will, as I said, we will keep the public posted if we should get further updates.
Weather updates can be found on www.weather.gov.dm. 4 of Dominica's most outstanding cultural advocates were presented with 2014 Golden Drum Awards at the Arawak House of Culture on Wednesday. Rima Alfred has more in this report.
Henry Alexander, Leroy Waddick-Charles, Raymond Lawrence, and Noreen Joseph were presented with the awards for their outstanding contributions beyond the call of duty to the art and culture for over 20 years. Speaking on behalf of the Minister for Culture, Youth and Sports, Marcella Powell, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, said these awards are a thank you from the Ministry for these individuals' sterling contribution to culture.
This demonstrates your passion for the arts and culture. This passion has been your driving force throughout the years and still continues to do so.
Henry Alexander of Warner, who was Sash Cultural Elder in 2012, was awarded for the preservation of traditional arts, particularly for his contribution to Xingping music, while Leroy Waddick-Charles, radio announcer and DJ, was awarded for promotion of the Creole music and language. Former Chief Cultural Officer Raymond Lawrence was awarded for cultural leadership and development. Lawrence served as cultural officer for 23 years and director of the Waitukubuli Dance Theatre Company for over 40 years. Noreen Joseph was awarded for her contribution in theatre and preservation of culture. Meanwhile, 5 individuals were presented with special recognition awards issued to persons who have made special contributions in culture over a 10-year period and under, and those who have achieved notable successes in a particular field of arts and culture. Imelda Aaron of Portsmouth received an award for cultural leadership and promotion of steel pan music, while Algernon Ras Algie Adams was awarded for performance and visual arts. Leslasa Amor Shillingford, Petros Meeza, and Peter Leta of Swinging Stars were not present for the celebration, however received awards for excellence in Queen pageantry, promotion and development of art, and for music respectively. Jacinta David, Acting Chief Cultural Officer, congratulated the recipients and encouraged them to continue to play a role in highlighting Dominica's culture.
I wish to congratulate all the persons receiving awards this evening. The work which you have been doing in culture is imperative, and I urge you to continue. remaining committed to making a difference in your community, in your district, and in your Dominica.
The Golden Drum Awards was introduced in 1982.
Thanks, Reimer, for that report. The Reform Management Unit of the Establishment Personnel and Training Department is currently conducting customer satisfaction surveys as part of the ongoing monitoring and evaluation of the reform and modernization of the public service. According to intern of the National Employment Program (NEP), attached to the Reform Management Unit to assist with customer service program, Shemaine Robin Thomas, the main objective of the survey is to assess the effectiveness of the delivery of services with a view to implement appropriate measures for continuous service improvements.
These are the precursors to the introduction of the Customer Service Advantage Program, soon to be launched in the public service. As a means of assessing the effectiveness of the reform initiative, customer services survey are currently ongoing at selected government departments such as the Registry, Customs and Excise Division, and the Establishment Personnel and Training Department.
Thomas noted customers are asked to complete survey questionnaires at the offices of the Registry Department, Customs and Excise Division, at the Establishment, Personnel and Training Department, and at the Customer Service Center on the ground floor of government headquarters. Questionnaires are also accessible online at www.dominica.gov.dm under Government Surveys, while public officers can access them on GovNet.
The customer survey is really to make sure it's a standard for providing an exceptionally high value customer service. And in order to make sure that this customer service, this high valued customer service is maintained, maybe ever so often there will be a survey done in a department to get the idea from the customers of how they are being served, right? So it may not be done 3-4 times a year, right? It may be done ever so often, maybe once a year, or sometimes you may say, let's see how the customers are being treated, and just want to have an idea if the customer standard or the customer service charter is being taken seriously by the public officers.
The service commenced on July 21st and will continue for a period of 1 month. An inaugural exhibition displaying relics from the older days was officially opened to the public on Tuesday evening in Grand Bay. As part of Grand Bay reunion activities, the organizing committee is hosting an exhibition depicting the story of the people of the Grand Bay community through documents, photographs, and artifacts. Crispin Gregoire, one of the coordinators of the Grand Bay Exhibition Committee, said the exhibit will take persons all the way back to the colonial days.
We've tried to give the story of the Grand Bay people from the beginning of the colonial settlement to present.
Most of the artifacts are on display at the Grand Bay Tourism and Environmental Committee building and include Kalinago pottery pieces unearthed during an archaeological excavation in 2007. Gregoire says the exhibits will cover a wide range of historic events and contribution from the community.
One of the features of the exhibition is that it focuses on the uprising at Geneva in 1974, which ended the era of plantation rule. Additionally, it also has an exhibition of photographs by a legendary photographer, Mr. Charles Gregoire, who passed away earlier this year. And he was the government filmmaker and photographer, so he has quite a large archive.
The exhibition will include for the first time a letter written by Elias Nassif, owner of the Geneva estate in Grand Bay during the uprising, and a response letter by then Chief Minister and Premier Edward Libar.
There's also a set of documents on the 1844 census riots, which is called the La Genègue, and the Geneva estate in Grand Bay was the center of this uprising after happened 6 years after slavery. So we have a lot of documents from the British archives on the census riots.
Overall, the exhibition will display Grand Bay's historic role in the development of sports and culture in Dominica. The exhibition will close on August 1st at 6 p.m.